Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela, and I'm doing a VR to Fairlight Tarot, I think it was. I'll post her video below, but she did a Halloween kind of tag with 10 prompts. The hashtag beloved monster decks. So I'm going to go through them real quick and do them real quick. I did a similar one, but mine was like tarot in costume. Basically, if you could wear a tarot deck for a costume, what would it be? Like Ghost, the Ghosts and Spirits Tarot, zombie tarot, kind of like that. Similar, but not quite. The beloved monster decks, I basically challenged myself to not use Halloween decks, and none of these are Halloween decks. So for number one, and then 3 Fret Readers also did a whole special on it as well. They did this whole tag. So anyway, I'll post there below too if I remember. So today is 10/30/2023. Tomorrow's Halloween. So I thought, what better time to do this than now? So the first one is the Frankenstein, a collage deck that is misunderstood but has a heart of gold. And I chose my Journey of the Sacred Bee. It's a deck that even I struggled to decide if I wanted it or not. It's edged in this teal blue, which is fabulous. It's got a teal bee in the back. I have all her decks now. This is a Thoth-based deck, which I don't read Thoth, so it doesn't make a difference to me. I've said the story many times. When I first saw this deck, it was on Kickstarter, and something said buy it. I'm like, I don't need a B deck. What would I do with a B deck? Then the Kickstarter ended, and it came out for pre-order. Something said buy it, and I'm like, I don't need a B deck. What would I do with a B deck? This is ridiculous. I don't need this deck. And it went off pre-order. Everybody started getting it. I still didn't want it. Then randomly, that following January, literally the first day of January, something said, buy it, buy it, buy it. Would not leave me alone. I said, you know what? I'm going to go buy it. Went and bought it. I said, I'm never going to work with this deck. This is ridiculous. Love that. Got it in the mail 4 days later. I opened it, did a walkthrough. By the end of the walkthrough, I was madly in love with this deck. The images are gorgeous. It's so deep. It's so soulful. And yeah, it's just fabulous. And that was the first deck I thought of when I saw that prompt for the monster, I can't even remember. The Frankenstein, a collage deck that is misunderstood, but has a heart of gold. And I think people hear Thoth and they just immediately know it. I don't read Thoth, and this deck is stunning. Beautiful. And then I also have the Wisdom of the Sacred Bee, which is the Oracle, and then the Keeper of the Sacred Bee, which is the RWS version. Phenomenal, all of them. Okay, number 2, we have the Dracula, a deck that is sensual and sophisticated. And I picked a deck that I will never probably use. It is probably in my collection just because I've read the entire series. But it is the Karen Marie Moaning Fever Tarot. She actually has a Fever series based in Dublin. This is an indie deck. The cards are ginormous. But when I think of a sensual vampire, if I could find a Queen of the Damned deck, that would be awesome. But until then, and I don't have a stat, until then, this deck will have to do. It is sensual. It is modern. It is dark. It is twisted in every beautiful way. Look at that. The blood moon. Oh, stunning. But yeah, I just found this, happened to be looking up decks one day, and I'm like, I'm going to go look up, because I found the It's a TV series, Shadows deck. There's the Dirty Streets of Dublin. Awesome. Look at that. Gorgeous. He's got cards. Interesting. Never noticed that before. There's a tree. Just stunning. Stunning, 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 stunning. Yeah. Filthy. Filthy, dirty, sexual, sensual, whatever you want to call it. It's got it all. It's that dark and twisty thing that you want in a vampire deck. And ironically, the series is based on dark fae instead of vampires. But this, because of the red and everything and all the blood, I immediately think of vampires when I see this deck. But that's a huge deck. Yeah, one day I was just scrolling through stuff and found it. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I got it and got it like 3 days later. It was crazy. So the next one, the Immortal Instruments, the Shadow Hunters Tarot, is the other one I was thinking of. The Werewolf is number 3, a deck that is best used in full moon. What deck did I decide on that? Oh, this is a fairy deck because it's the first deck I decided, and the top is gone. It's a Low Scarebearer Tarot, this Tarot of the Secret Forest. It's the first deck I bought that didn't fully understand what shadow work was, but this deck catapulted me into shadow work. I have etched it in black. The fronts are colored, the backs are black and white. I have no words for this deck. This deck is dark. I was like, oh, this is so cute. I can use this side for dark work, this side for light work. And then I started reading with it, and I'm like, no, it's dark no matter which side you choose. It's a dark, dark deck. And I imagine, I think I actually did a full moon ritual, and this deck was used in that very first moon ritual I did when I started my spiritual journey, or my tarot journey. Anyway, this is my shadow work deck. And I usually work shadow work during full moons, and so I immediately thought of this one. And that is beautiful, and it's dark and twisted, and I love it. You can see the top's gone. I've used it a lot. And I actually found this on, I think, Amazon. It's a makeup bag, but it fits, it's cute. It's mushrooms, but it fits both of these, the same creator. This is the same deck as, the same creator as this one. So I keep them both together, because this box is ripped out of hell, too. So I keep them together in my mushroom bag, because they fit perfect, both of them. So the next one is number 4, the Grim Reaper, a deck that feels very final and unmovable. And that would be, I keep it in this pouch, my Rustic Lenormand. This was there's a lot of extra cards here. It is bridge size. This deck I got on Make Playing Cards. It's probably one of the first things I bought on Make Playing Cards. It's got a shadow side and a upright meaning for all of the Lenormand cards. If you're looking for a beautiful, really starter Lenormand without a book, this is the deck for you. It's beautiful. It's stunning. It has a bunch of extra cards. It also has a bunch of, these are extra cards that you can substitute out. Like I think Snakes has like 3. The woman and man all have different ones. But Lenormand is, they say Lenormand is Lenormand, right? Like, oh, the stork, look at that. It doesn't change. It's immovable. It's steadfast. And so I immediately thought of that Lenormand deck, and I made a pouch for it and got a tree on there. So I don't think I need to go into a whole lot of detail on that. So that was the Grim Reaper number 5, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, a deck that loves water, but it's not afraid of getting dirty. Okay. So that would be my Gaian Tarot, because it is my one deck that I feel like is watery. Blue backs. I took the second border off and etched it in this purple to match the backs. That came out perfect. yeah, this is my water deck. Like, anytime I think of a watery type deck, this deck is it. Not just because there's a lot of things with blue in it or water in it, but because it brings out emotions in me that I thought were lost and gone and buried and never returning. And for that, I always see this deck as my water deck. No matter what's going on or what's happening, this is my go-to. If I want to get in touch with certain emotions, this is the deck I go to. And it's stunning and beautiful, and everybody loves it. Cardstock is super thick. So that is my water, the creature from the Black Lagoon deck. Number 6, the Freddy Cougar, a scruffy deck that has a terrifying sense of humor. And I could not pick the Omega Land Tarot. It's a tarot deck and card game. This is by US Games. When I first saw this deck, I thought it was an indie deck. I don't know why. And then I found out it was on Amazon for like $15. There's the backs. This is a Doomsday Prepper deck. It is kitschy. It is creepy AF. Yeah, look at this. He's bleeding out. Like, wow. It's crazy. So, this is my Freddy Krueger deck for sure, because it rakes against your skin with claws. If that makes any sense. It grates on your nerves. It really, really does. Like, it's sometimes hard to take. And I think that's what makes it a Freddy Krueger deck. It's sometimes hard to look at. But that is my Freddy Krueger deck. I've yet to figure out how to play it as a game, because it has actually real things in here for how to play it as a game, as well as the tarot, which I find super fascinating. So that was number 6. Number 7, the Chucky, a doll-like deck that may stab you in the back. And the only deck I have for that is, of course, the Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot. This is the mini. It's by Los Scarabero. I can tell you right now, because of the trauma that has come out because of this deck, I could not handle this in a big size. This is the perfect size for me. It's also creepy AF. I don't like little creepy dolls, and this has got a lot of creepy dolls in it. This is my favorite card in here. She's beautiful. Look at this one. Like, look at his face. He's traumatized. It's crazy. I use it more than I use another deck I have, because that's a mini, because it does help with shadow work and childhood trauma, things like that. And there's my cat. Oh, he took off the other way. But yeah, that is my, oh my gosh, I have dogs, cats, everybody running around all of a sudden. I'm just trying to get this done. It's almost 11 o'clock at night. You'd think everybody'd be sleeping. And now she's crying. I only got a couple more decks. So that was number 7, right? Of course, that's my Chucky doll. There's a lot of knives and dolls in it. Number 8, the Zombie, an airy deck that is hungry for brains. And I took this to mean hungry for knowledge. And I picked the Lost Tarot Nostradamus by John Matthews and Will Kingham. This is a Tuttle Publishing. This deck, the box sucks because it comes in 2 parts. I'm just going to show you one side. I still haven't really worked with this deck a whole lot, because it takes a lot of smarts, I think. And I just don't have it in me. I think the deck is gorgeous. It's not the greatest cardstock. I mean, it can shuffle. This is just half the deck. It does shuffle. It doesn't bend well, though. Like, it really doesn't bend well. But this is a gorgeous deck. I've yet to really work with it, because I know I'm going to have to dive in deep to things. And there's a lot of layers to this. And I think that's why it's like almost intimidating, which is why I put it in this thing, because it's got a lot of smarts. And that's how I chose to look at this particular prompt. The Hungry for Brains is the Hungry for Knowledge, Lost Tarot of Nostradamus. So number 9, the Pennywise, the Clown, a deck that is deceivingly whimsical, but is actually very intense. And if you guys have watched my channel, you're gonna know. It is a mystical medleys. I love the vintage cartoon. But when I started actually working with this deck, I was like, oh, hell no. Like, there are so many things in here that brought out childhood trauma. This is my childhood deck, pretty much. Like the Eight of Swords here, like she got so comfortable in the uncomfortable that she's now taking a nap in this position that she probably doesn't belong in. And I'm like, whoa. I mean, this deck hit me hard in different hardcore ways. I mean, it smacked the crap out of me a few times. And I think and I've said this before, the only way I could have handled a deck like that is if it's cartoony looking and deceiving at first. Because, not deceiving in its message, but deceiving in how it looks. It looks all whimsical and beautiful and sweet and innocent, and then it slaps the crap out of you. And you're like, oh crap, I was not prepared for that. So that is what did I say? That's 9, right? We only have one more and I'm almost out of time. So that was the Pennywise, the Clown. So number 10, which is the last one, the Mummy, a deck that is covered in many layers. My Stretch Tarot. This is the copy you can get on Make Plain Cards. The Stretch Tarot actually first came out in 2016. This one came out in 2021? 2022. It's got a thinner, more bendy, flexible cardstock. This is a linen cardstock, which I normally hate. But I love that I can shuffle this deck now because the original I have does not bend. And I've never riffle shuffled it because I'm afraid I'm going to break the cards. But now I have a more shuffly version and there's extra cards in it. And this is my number 4 top deck ever of all time. And this is why I say it's got layers, because I have used this deck it is a workhorse deck. It is a deck I've used for mediumship readings. It's a deck I've used for past life readings. It's a deck I've used for ancestor work, regular readings, for everyday things. It is so complex in its simplicity, and it has keywords on all the minors, and I love this deck. It's not everybody's cup of tea, I get that. It is stunning for me. It is one of my top 5 favorite decks ever. And I'm glad now I have 2 separate copies because, yeah, it's one of my top 5 decks ever. And that's why I say it's got layers, just because it does so many things. Whatever you want it to do, it's going to do for you. And I love it. So that is my hashtag beloved monsters decks VR to Fairlight Tarot. I will post her link below when this uploads. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, don't hesitate to comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And y'all have a great night. Bye.